The Minecraft movie builds an amazing opening weekend, block by block. Tom Cruise delivers in new Mission Impossible trailer, and the Tron Ares trailer dropped, giving us a lot to discuss. All that and more coming up right after this. Welcome to Multiverse News, your source for information about all your favorite fictional universes. My name is Matthew Carroll, and with me on the panel today, we have Haley Hobbs. What's going on, Haley? Hey,
I don't have anything snappy for this week, so hey, everybody. Hi. Welcome.
Your presence is snappy enough.
Ooh.
And Jay Sisson, how's it going, bud?
Hey, good. We're back just like the direwolves, baby. Ready to howl it up.
That's right. There are two
and
wolves
don't
live
get
among
down
us.
in the comments being like, it's not a real direwolf because it's just a bunch of gene blah, blah. No, just stop. Stop and reevaluate what you think is fun and try to commit to that, you know? Don't be but actually guy.
It is clear that Jay has a favorite story this week because we've definitely not get in anywhere close to it. The show just started and he's already jumping to the lightning round.
Came in hot on direwolf action.
That's right. And that voice you hear is our good friend of the show, Reed Murphy from 323 with Reed Murphy. Welcome back, bud. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Like I said, I always love being in the guest chair. So this is always a fun, relaxing time. We just got done with Awesome Con and doing a whole live panel in DC, so
it's cool.
Yeah, I'm feeling very relaxed, very vacation mode. I'm ready to bring that big guest chaos energy. I got you.
I like to bring the chaos and make the show harder to edit when I don't have to. It's the goal of a good guest.
I got you. That's why I'm here, man. That's why they hire me.
Oh man. Well, we have a 5-star review, as we always like to read. Ja777 says, I listen every week since the podcast started up to keep on all the multiverse news. It's entertaining, interesting, and always informative. Thank you so much, Ja.
Yay, we nail it, is all I heard. Obviously.
That's right. Thank you very much. And by the way, if you want to review us or rate us, our review contest ends on April 15th. You can do it anywhere in the Stranded Panda community of podcasts, basically. The list is at strandedpanda.com/PS5 because you can win a PS5 with 2 Marvel games. So go do that. It's the last week.
Last episode that you'll hear us say that. So
that's right. So if you've been saying like, I need to do that, PS5, like this is the week. All right. Well, should we just dive right in? Is that what we're doing?
Let's dive
Diving.
Right in.
Yeah.
Into the deep end.
I got my gear on.
All right. Well, our first story for this week, Warner Brothers now has the biggest movie opening of the year so far, as a Minecraft movie raked in more than $300 million globally in its opening weekend. If you're surprised, don't be, as video game movie adaptations seem to be the hot ticket. Minecraft's opening marks the largest ever for actor Jason Momoa and comes in second for Jack Black. Is it Minecraft's world and we're just living in it?
Yeah, apparently. And I think as I'm looking at the box office here and I'm thinking about why it did so well, I'm reminded of a couple different movies come to mind. The first one that pops into my head is the Super Mario Brothers movie, which was a roaring success at the box office. It made over $1 billion, and it was because it hit that perfect blend of you've got older kids, younger kids, and families all going together to see it and wanting to experience it in a theater. And that's the same thing that's happening here. I mean, Minecraft has been around for 15 years. People have played it since they were young, and now they're older. They want to go see the movie. Kids are getting into it now. It's just as alive now as it was back then. And so it hit that perfect kind of quadrant thing that we talk about of like families have to show up. They have to buy multiple tickets and they want to experience it in a theater. Like I have a family. I'm going to have to go see this movie. Like my kids just by proxy have learned about Minecraft like every other kid in America. And they want to see it. And so I'm going to have to go. And there's 5 people in my family. I have to buy 5 tickets. And it's just the way that it is, you know, and a lot of families are in that situation of like, well, I guess we're going to go see the Minecraft movie together. And the same thing happened with Super Mario Brothers. Like, and I liked the Super Mario Brothers movie, but I probably would have waited for streaming if I didn't have kids. But since I have kids, I had to go out with the whole gang and buy a bunch of tickets for it and see it. And then The second thing that it reminds me of is the Minions Rise of Gru movie, which became a meme and people saw it for the meme. And so you had like teenagers showing up in tuxedos and stuff for the movie for some reason. And it just became like a TikTok thing. Well, this is kind of doing the same thing. Like, I did not realize, it was not on my radar how much teenagers would go for this movie. Like, I heard them because like it's we've talked about before, like I teach ninth grade, so I'm around teenagers all day, and when we came in on Monday, I was like stunned to hear so many of them be like, we saw the Minecraft movie and we went to the Minecraft movie and all this type of stuff, because it just wasn't on my radar that like, well, yeah, I guess because they grew up playing it, but then it took on a new life. It was the joke. It's like, are half of these kids seeing it to make fun of it? Totally. But that they're still buying a ticket for it, you know? So it's getting into that weird like experience territory that we always talk about with like, why did Barbie do well? Why did Oppenheimer? Why did Barbenheimer? Why did all this type of stuff do well? It's the experience. This is an experience. Like, people want to go. Maybe they want to make fun of it. Maybe they want to see it for real. Maybe they just want to go have a night to do crazy stuff with their friends or whatever. They're all buying tickets, so it doesn't matter. But like, this movie is, I mean, I think it could scratch $1 billion territory. Like, once it, you know, we start getting it hit $300 million in its opening weekend worldwide. It was $150 million budget. Like,
do we know what the cinema score is?
It's a B+. So okay. It's, you know, not, I always got him right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not bad.
I Googled it and couldn't find it, and I knew that if I just asked Jay, he'd know.
But B+, not bad. I mean, that tells you it's got some legs.
Hold on now. You've always said anything below an A is sucko.
No, if any giant franchise movie below an A is a problem. Like, if you are an MCU movie and you're a B+, that's a problem. If you are a Minecraft movie that is not a sequel and is a new franchise, a B+ is fine.
All right. Thanks for taking me to school, Mr. Sisson.
I mean, when you're talking about, like, I like that you have the teenagers that you can gauge this on. I work in an elementary school, so I've been, these, 5 to 11-year-olds have been wildly excited for this for a couple months now. There was some that got to like an advanced screening like a couple weeks ago. So, the hype with those kids is real, and I somehow accidentally saw it over the weekend, on opening weekend. I had zero intention of seeing the movie. I never, I don't know much about Minecraft at all. I've always known of it, but never played, never tried it. And, my girlfriend and her family, they were going to see it. They were like, you want to come? I was like, yeah, why not? So just went, and with zero expectations, nothing to go off of, I actually weirdly enjoyed it. Like, I liked it. I thought it was weird and quirky. And, you have a lot of those great kind of people like Jennifer Coolidge and Jack Black, and Jason Momoa was just like all in, hamming it up. That worked perfectly for me. It was a weird world to get to know, but actually one that if they make more, and I'm sure they will, I don't mind going back into that world and diving in and learning a little bit more. And it helped that my theater was not full of the TikTok trend idiots that are, jumping around on Chicken Jockey and everything. Like, oh my God. I heard just in the school today, I think I heard Chicken Jockey 5, 6, 7 times just before 8 a.m. Wow. It's insanity. It's insanity. But and you'll find out soon enough. Don't you worry.
That's okay.
It'll get into the lexicon chat. It's going to be great.
A sequel for this movie will be announced any second now. I'm shocked it hasn't been announced already. As of the recording of this podcast, it hasn't. Any second now, they will announce a sequel.
Isn't the name of it a Minecraft movie?
It is,
yeah.
Like, they that's like planning for a sequel already. Like, not calling it the Minecraft movie, but calling it, it's a Minecraft movie. We're going to do more. Like, this is just one of many.
Make the next one another Minecraft movie. There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
keep doing that. Yeah.
Yep. Just that every time. And it's another one. It works for DJ Khaled. I'm not surprised this did incredibly well. I know that all of the kids I know, like Reed, you were talking about that, like, under 11, I don't know, that like preteen age range, they are just playing this game, not just a little bit, but like all of the time. Like it's a nonstop obsession. So yeah, it's just, it was going to do great. It was not much on my radar. I saw some of the advertising for it, but like I still don't know anything about it. I don't even think I've seen a full trailer. I just seen like, you know, Jack Black and Jason Momoa on like ads for other things and stuff, like the whole like cross brand promotions and stuff. So I knew it was going to do well just because of the brand. But I guess I'm not surprised. But it's pretty amazing to see that big of a number, biggest of the year. I mean, was it Wicked before now? Was that probably the biggest until now?
Well, Wicked was November, right? So
Wicked was
I'm
last
sorry.
year.
I'm thinking of the last year instead of.
I think it would have been Captain America probably before this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's only April.
Yeah, it's only April, so that a little deceptive. But like, it's that's 300 million, still a big number, regardless. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's no reason this would have been on my radar for all of the reasons because I don't do any of this stuff. But I went to the movies on Saturday to see The Friend. Very sweet little movie with Naomi Watts and Bill Murray and a Great Dane. But the lobby was packed and I was like, what in the F is happening? And then I look at the Grand Theater and I'm like, oh yeah, Minecraft. And I was like, bye, I'm going to my 21 and over only theater. Can't wait to not be here. But are these movies maybe not everybody's cup of tea? Sure. Yeah, great. Are they getting people out to the theaters? Yes. Theater owners have got to be thrilled about video game adaptations because I mean, they rake them in. So just because it's not your slice of pie doesn't mean it's a bad slice.
Yeah, it's all about the experience. Like it either, like for me, I think for all of us probably, but definitely speaking for myself, seeing the video of like the kids going crazy and yelling and screaming during the movie, that's like my nightmare. Like that horrifies me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that is a theater experience. Like you can't do that at home. You did that in a theater for a reason. And so it does remind me a lot of, we've had this conversation, the whole history of the show about like, how do you get people to the theater? And that's it. Like we've seen it. It's Super Mario Brothers. It's Wicked. It's Barbenheimer. It's like that's why these movies have done well. Like, why would I not wait for streaming? Oh, you've given me a reason to not wait for streaming because I can go to the theater. I can do something stupid. I can post it on TikTok and that's enough, or I can dress up in pink and green and show up at the theater for Wicked, or I can dress up like Barbie or whatever and show up for Barbie. Like it's kind of where we're at with movies in a theater a little bit. And at the end of the day, like if it gets people excited about going to the theater, I'm for it. But it's also kind of annoying though too if people are really crazy. Maybe that's just the get off my lawn in me, but it's there.
I know we're in a few years into it now, but it's sort of that thing. I feel like this sort of solidifies that we're in the beginnings of the era of the video game movie being huge success. There's a long time where it was like both critically and financially, video game movies were a roller coaster, but we're getting like, things like Last of Us coming out this weekend at the same time as Minecraft is catching the completely other end of the spectrum of both kinds of content and what the age range and all that stuff. I just think we're there. We're in this. I think we're fully in the era of the video game movie, and I'm not saying that like comic book movies are over by any means, but like comic book movies kind of held that reins for a long time. I don't know, and it's starting to feel like those two things are starting to sort of fight it out for like supremacy of the like popcorn movie. All right, well, let's see what we got next. Tom Cruise's seemingly last outing as Ethan Hunt was finally shown in a full trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, hitting theaters on May 26th. The high-octane trailer looks back at previous Mission Impossible entries and hints that all that has happened to the main character has been on purpose. Whose excitement is flying high after watching this trailer?
Mine is obviously, first of all, before we get into anything else, this trailer slaps. We have Timmel, right? Timmel. His name is kind of hard to say for our Severance people, which I'm very excited that we got to see him in the trailer too, because we only recently learned that he was going to be in it. And we have Nick Offerman. which wasn't on my bingo card, but I'm really happy about it. And so I think that maybe those two characters are related. Like maybe they're gonna, they're in the military together. Anyway, I'm so excited. This movie looks awesome. I loved all of the flashbacks to all of the other entries we get. From the first one, we get the rabbit's foot from the third movie. We get this soundbite that the bomb in Ghost Protocol was actually supposed to blow Ethan up. Like, it's going to be very interesting that they're trying to tie all these threads together. I don't know that I 100% love it, but at the end of the day, I love these movies so much that I'm probably not really going to care. And Tom Cruise is hanging off of an airplane because he wants to make really good movies because he's crazy. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. This is going to be a great movie. I have no doubt. And it's just, it can be cheap because so often, you get these like, this is the final outing, and it isn't really. Yeah. But I think this is the final outing. I think he's been doing these movies a long time. They've all had Tom Cruise in them. Like a lot of times you get sort of these, franchises that'll start with an actor and it'll sort of like the Bourne movies. They'll move on, and they'll be like, oh, it's not the same. And they'll come back, and he's been in these movies. Is this the 8th or is this the 7th?
The 8th, I believe.
The 8th. Yeah. 7th, part 2. Yeah.
It just feels like a real ending that they're planning to do, and they're going to, and that's just always exciting, and it gives it a little bit more prestige than just another outing, because everybody's going to want to bring their A game to close it out well, and it really makes me. I know we just did our Bingers Assemble 2 years ago for this, and I want to go back and rewatch them all again to remind myself, but I guess I can listen to our podcast instead of rewatch them because that's the whole thing we do. But I'm
do both.
Yeah, I could do both. I'm very, very excited for a final outing for Ethan Hunt.
I'm very curious if it is the final outing. We got a lot of final outings in a lot of different movies, but if this is it, hopefully it just goes out on as big a high as it can go. I'm sure Tom Cruise wants to just keep outdoing himself. The barrel roll looks awesome. I'm already very excited to see that in theaters. I was not big on these growing up, and then Rogue Nation hit, and I watched Mission Impossible Rogue Nation just randomly one day, fell in love with it, had to catch up. It's one of my favorite series now. So yeah, I'm with you all on this and very excited. But I do wonder, like, what percentage do you think this really is Ethan Hunt's last go? Or could it be his last go and we just keep doing more Mission Impossibles but setting up another character? Because we tried that before with Jeremy Renner, and Ethan had to take that right back over.
Well, he didn't even get a movie though.
No,
right, but it was supposed to.
Jeremy Renner also tried to do Bourne. I think is what you're maybe thinking of.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
No, I think it was both. Yeah, I think Tom Cruise just loves this character too much. I think he was like, no, I got it in me. Don't worry. like shoot me up with some steroids. I'll do it. I'm 85% sure this is the last one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, would he stop? I don't know. I just feel like maybe his life's goal is to die making one of these movies. Just because he always does all these crazy things.
Listen, he is not done in this character. I'm telling he might be done for now, but the Hollywood time is pretty short. You give him 3 or 4 years, we're gonna hear about another Mission Impossible movie. It's gonna happen. He's gonna get the itch.
He'll be 65 by then.
I know, but that's the Everest. It's I did it at 65.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Maybe that tees up the whole thing for 15 years down the line. Tom Cruise is gonna do, some Oscar baity movies for a few years, try to get that Oscar in. He's gonna be in the Alejandro Inarritu movie coming up. Maybe he'll do a Tarantino's last flick or something. Do all this, great acting, remind everybody he's an actor. He hits 75, close to 80. And they decide Mission Impossible reboot. Let's bring him in. The Harrison Ford role. He's still going to get in one stunt, and he's going to die making the movie, and it's going to be the biggest blockbuster ever. Thanks to Tom Cruise.
There's actual age and there's Tom Cruise age. I don't care what number. I'd throw any number at me. I don't care. It's Tom Cruise. He's different. It's just he's different. He drove a motorcycle off a cliff, and he is hanging from an airplane. It's Tom Cruise.
I see a lot of discourse of people of I'm going to say certain age that say Tom Cruise is the last great movie star. I don't even know if I agree with that on the level of like he'll do anything, because I think that there are other actors out there who will. I just think that he has the corner on this market of being like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that sentiment? I find it interesting.
I don't know about movie star, but I think he is unquestionably the greatest action star that we have alive today. I can't think of a better action star than Tom Cruise. Just that we have on our in the world. I can't think of a better one. Of course, there are some who are more athletic, and but the pedigree and the history of Tom Cruise, like I don't think we have anyone up there at that point. So I can kind of see what you mean, because he is a unique breed of person.
I'm not saying this. Other people are saying
right.
this. I just want to clarify so the trolls don't come after me.
He is a very unique breed of actor, and I don't know if we will have someone like him have the career that he had again. Of just like continually making these insane life-risking stunts and just like feats of athletic achievement on the screen just through decades of career. I don't think we have that kind of person, because he's very unique as a person and as an individual, but as an action star, I don't think there's anyone like him.
I don't think we're going to have anyone like Tom Cruise ever again, but I also don't think we're ever going to have anyone like Brad Pitt again, or a number of other big stars. There's a thing that happened with the internet. I think I've talked about this on the show before. It's one of my theories of what's happening in Hollywood right now, and it's just this sort of like people that were famous around when the internet started are still famous, and they're going to keep being famous because they're the last monoculture we had. After the internet became culture and YouTube became culture, like everyone has their favorite thing, and like back when Tom Cruise in the 80s, like everyone's mom's favorite actor was Tom Cruise. Like every kid on your block, their mom was watching Tom Cruise movies. That doesn't happen anymore. Everything's so bifurcated, and like so I think there's a whole generation of actors that will still be like, until they all die off, they will still be the biggest action stars, the biggest whatever. And I don't know if they'll ever really be replaced, because I just don't think we'll ever have a monoculture like that again. But I also think, as for action stars, I think there's a few contenders. I mean, like obviously his specific thing though, I think you could make a case for Sylvester Stallone, obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they're not doing their thing anymore in the same way. Obviously, you can make a case for like Vin Diesel. There's other people, but most of the people now who are doing it, these people who are younger, who have the bigger bodies and stuff, they don't have the same affection for old school Hollywood effects. And I don't think there'll ever be anyone who is like, I need to get on a plane. Like maybe there will be people that like,
I need to learn to halo jump.
Right. I think there will be people who are willing to do it for a movie. Like the producers really want to do it this way, but like how many actors are like stunt geeks like he is, and want to, and willing to like fund the movie themselves? There were Mission Impossible movies where they made him do the stunt first before they would fund the movie or like insure the movie, because they were like, we have to make sure you survive the stunt before we'll insure the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that motorcycle scene, that motorcycle scene, that was the first scene they shot for that movie.
Yeah, because if you die,
you might die, and we don't want to make this whole movie and then you die.
And that's wild. And I don't think we'll have that again, because I just don't think that very few of us are being raised on the same kind of movie. We're used to the CGI of it all, and I just don't think we're going to have the same thing in. Maybe there will be some niche for that, but being that niche, like interest combined with that big a star, I just don't ever see it happening again.
I could see somebody maybe attempt it, but I think what you said exactly captures it, because for me, I think that's what sells me on Cruise's movies and makes them a must-see, even when I'm just hearing about it and it's in development, is the stunt work. Him doing all of his own stunts, doing things that are such like Evel Knievel level crazy work that he's doing that nobody else can do, because he has not only this mythology built around him, this status in Hollywood, but he is such a heavy-hitting producer and able to fund all of these projects that, he's getting the insurance done. You're not going to see as much as maybe somebody like I don't know, Tom Hardy's doing Havoc, and later this summer, and Keanu Reeves, maybe these other actors want to do that, but the studios are never going to let them, because what control do they have as compared to Tom Cruise does with these Mission Impossible films and even Top Gun? And just in terms of star power and star making ability, this is a guy whose name was bigger than Top Gun Maverick on the poster. It was Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick. And I there's just not a lot of people who I view, just my view, of a major draw just because of their name, just because they're going to be in something. It piques my interest hearing about it in pre-production. If Denzel Washington's in a movie, I'm interested just because I trust the choices. Same with like Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis. Jennifer Lawrence was there for a bit, but then it kind of tailed off in a weird way. And I think the closest person to that currently that has a shot, and not in an action film type of way, but just in terms of the choices that they make and the kind of popularity around them, is Timothée Chalamet. I think that he's teetering on the edge of an oversaturation. He needs a little more little more mystery to his life, I think. And next thing you know, if he can continue to make great choices, get an Oscar, getting all these type of things, maybe pop up in some type of action film here. Well, I mean, he's in the Dune series right there. I think Chalamet has a shot, but it still won't get anywhere close to Tom Cruise level. It's going to be hard to ever have another Tom Cruise, and that's why I'm happy to, even if I don't necessarily like him personally in ways or agree with him in certain ways, I'm definitely there to give him his roses for what he does with his work in these films, and just purely out there to entertain people and to make, give you a great film going experience.
Yeah. We were just talking about it with the Minecraft movie and the idea that like making something an event, and Tom Cruise, because of his stunts, he makes the movie an event just by making the movie. It's one of the few movies you can be like, it's an event because he's on the side of a plane or he's jumping off the thing, and like, we got to see that in the theater,
I will say, in terms of, is this the last one? Maybe my percentage goes up because he's throwing the whole kitchen sink into this one. He's scuba diving. He's hanging off the plane. He's flying an F-16. We see a shot of him on the air. They're like, you gave him an aircraft carrier, which is just freaking hysterical. So, maybe he is pulling out all the tricks for this one because it's the swan song.
Yeah. I'm excited. All right. Up next, Lightcycles meet the real world in the trailer for Tron Ares, Disney's newest entry to the Tron universe. The trailer, featuring music from for the film by Nine Inch Nails, shows us what it will look like when the digital Tron world infiltrates the real world. The film stars Jared Leto, and the cast includes Greta Lee, Gillian Anderson, Jeff Bridges, Evan Peters, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Cameron Monaghan. The film marks a nearly 15-year gap since the last Tron entry. Give us your lit-up opinion.
I gotta say, I enjoyed Tron when I was a kid. I grew up, my dad got me on that randomly, like one Saturday afternoon. I enjoyed the movie and always thought it was such a cool concept. For whatever reason, once Tron Legacy came out, I didn't really have a particular interest in it, and I just wound up missing that. I heard the soundtrack. I loved Daft Punk's score. Visually, it looked beautiful on a lot of things that I saw, and I heard great word of mouth, but it didn't seem, it wasn't a massive movie, which I guess it can explain that 15-year gap going to Tron Ares. I watched the trailer for Tron Ares recently, and my interest is actually piqued in this. It looks visually beautiful, looks stunning. You give me Nine Inch Nails, and especially they're not saying composed by Trent Ross and Atticus Shaffer. It's Nine Inch Nails. They said there's a difference when they're doing this. I need to hear more of that. I loved it in the trailer. Jared Leto, man, the 323 Network, our movie guy Travis Byram. We had a whole we don't talk about Leto song and dance and everything for this, but I think I can overlook him for this. If I saw Morbius, and didn't, I could get through Jared Leto. I can get through on this. Rest of the cast is awesome. And Jeff Bridges' voice was awesome in the trailer. It was just great. He's a perfect narration on this. I'm actually excited for this and excited to see it. It's a really cool concept to see the Tron world enter the real world and that crossover and how it looks as just a, like this visual paradox. So it'll be interesting to see. I can't guarantee that it's going to be a hit. I can't guarantee that it's going to be good. Maybe that concept is going to blow up. I've always liked the virtual world idea, and so to see a crossover that's kind of, compelling and it's bold, we'll see if it works out, but I'm curious for it and looking forward to seeing it.
Now, I was curious about the Leto thing because I just can't get my head around building a franchise around Jared Leto in the year 2025. Like, it makes 0% sense to me, like, why you would do that, because he is so out there of a character and is in many ways controversial and by all stretch of the imagination is apparently, like, kind of hard to work with on set. But I went and looked it up because I was like, I feel like we've been talking about Jared Leto in this Tron movie for a while. He was cast in March 2017 in this thing. So he was cast 8 years ago in this movie because it's been in production so long. And, March 2017 Jared Leto probably has a little bit of a different vibe than 2025 Jared Leto. That was about 4 or 5 months post Air Suicide Squad, which is probably where his career started to tip down a little bit and started to kind of take a little bit of a tumble after that whole Joker debacle in that film. So I think that maybe can give us a little bit of context. Like, if you're making Tron Ares today, you are not casting Jared Leto. Like, you're just not. Like, you're casting someone else. But in 2017, I think it probably made more sense to do it that way.
Interesting. I did see Tron Legacy 15 years ago, I guess. Wow. And I loved Tron Legacy. I thought it was really cool. It was not successful, and it did not get the sequel that they clearly kind of planned for. But in the movie, they did a really good job of the first Tron movie is sort of just like, it's a guy's adventure story going to a crazy digital world and trying to get out. That's the whole movie, really. I feel like they did a really good job in Tron Legacy of having you care about the characters, the digital characters, this world that they had. And now I'm wondering how much of that, like, fleshing out of the digital people will transfer over to this new one, because clearly they're breaking into our world. Is it just villainous breaking in and trying to take over, or is it something like, are they trying to save themselves in some way? That would go well with the kind of the way the Tron Legacy ended. I'm basically curious how much Tron Legacy and this movie are going to have much crossover. I'm assuming they will, because they're the same. Jeff Bridges is in both, and they're. I'm assuming they will continue the storyline that they left off with. But and I've been excited to hear about that storyline for the last 15 years. So yeah, I'm pumped for this, and I'm hoping that it's the story of these digital people trying to survive, and they need to come into our world, and then trying to figure out how the humans and the digital people can kind of like learn to coexist and stop a war between them. That's kind of the vibe I was getting. But I think that I love that kind of stuff. Different people that are different and have to share a world together. I think that's a very real and a good story to tell. But I cannot watch this trailer and not think about that Adam Sandler movie Pixels. I can't. It's like they just did Pixels, but at nighttime. And I don't know. It doesn't, like, the graphics do not look bad. The graphics look great, but I cannot not think about Pixels. Literally 2D video game world coming into our world and attacking. It's Pixels. It's Pixels. It's Pixels. It's Pixels. And I don't know how I'm going to get past that.
Or is Pixels Tron, because Tron came out in the 80s.
But they weren't coming into our world, like that was the whole thing. That's the whole thing here. That's why it's something about seeing those two-dimensional creatures and stuff rendered, and bikes and all that stuff rendered into our real world, which is what Pixels did. And yeah, so that's why I can't keep the two separate.
Tron is an interesting franchise at this point, because it did start in the 80s. The original movie was much hated, like not received well. Probably was a little too ahead of its time for when it came out, but then it became loved. They have the theme park ride, etc., etc. But I feel like it's one of those little niche things, kind of like Dune is in a way where it's like, yeah, I've heard of that, but I don't know a lot about it. I'm sure there are lots of, Tron super fans out there, and good for you. I'm happy for you. So hopefully you're excited about this film, but I just worry that, like, I think it looks cool. I think it sounds cool. I'm glad Jared Leto is not a real person in it, because that makes the most sense anyway. But, like, I'm sure it's costing a lot to make this movie, and is it going to be another Disney over budget, underperforming movie at the box office? I don't know, because I just don't know how, like, tenuous the line between these Tron movies is. Is it something that my dad's gonna take me to it because he loved the original Tron, or my grandpa, or what? I just don't know if that connection's there, or if there's a big enough audience out there who's like, oh yeah, the Tron movie, that's what I want to go see.
The second one did a really interesting job of taking the ball from the first movie and, like, really pushing the story forward, but in a way that if they just drop that ball completely, it will feel like they just dropped the second one, like it doesn't count or something. And I feel like that will be a betrayal of, people who go see movies. I don't like when canon is broken, but I also understand that, like, if you're making a new Tron movie, a lot of people didn't see the 15 years ago one, so maybe you don't want to pay attention to that last one. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that handoff is done, and maybe we'll Bingers assemble this one, because I think it'll be a fun one to do. All right, well, that's our feature stories for this week. But coming up after the break, we got a great lightning round for you guys. Dire Wolves are back, baby. Peacemaker Season 2 has a release date. Disney pauses live-action Tangled, and Secret Predator movie is revealed, and Death Stranding gets an adaptation. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Multiverse News. I think we have a word from our friend Jay Sisson. What's your word, Jay Sisson?
Do you like this show? I would hope so, because you've made it over 30 minutes into the program. Do you want us to make this show the best that we can make it? If your answer is yes, then boy, do we have an opportunity for you. It's called patreon.com/multiverse newscast, where if you pay $4 a month to us, we will make it worth your while. You'll get a sticker. Right. You'll get exclusive episodes. You'll get this live replay that you may or may not be watching on YouTube played for you again if you want it. And you'll get to hang out with us, which is probably the best prize of them all. If you want to buy merch from us, you get 10% off anytime that you want. The perks just keep coming. It's $4 a month. It's like $1 an episode, and you get to support us. So head on over to patreon.com/multiverse newscast and be a patron today. We will thank you for it.
And speaking of thanking our patrons, Christopher King is this week's patron shout out. So thank you, Christopher King, for being a patron, and all our other wonderful patrons. All right. Well, let's move on to our Spotify poll for this week. Spotify poll was who won CinemaCon? Which studio is the winner? And first we had Paramount with 0%. That is unfortunate, Star Trek. That is unfortunate. Universal and Blumhouse with 2%. I'm glad. Is that Scotty? Yep, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Totally just Scotty.
Amazon MGM 4%. And now we get into the contenders here for this show. WB/DC got 13% of the vote. Disney got 37% of the vote. And Sony got 41% of the vote.
Oh, that Spider-Man effect.
Everybody's going to be about Spider-Man. But, I mean, Paramount, we just spent a long time talking about Mission Impossible. They also showed stuff from The Running Man, which we have not seen yet. But if we had, we might think differently. So,
wait, is this Mission Impossible movie being distributed by Paramount or Warner Brothers? Because remember, Tom Cruise signed with Warner Brothers.
Paramount. This is still Paramount.
I'm just checking. I'm just asking.
All right. Well, I think it's interesting how strong the Spider-Man force still is. I mean, you can make so many wonderful Iron Man movies and so many wonderful Captain America movies, but you put any version of Spider-Man on screen and it is just like going to step up above all the other Marvel stuff that they've worked so hard and made this amazing MCU out of, and still Spider-Man is owned by another company and still can just like bring all the eyeballs in.
But we still watched 5 hours of Chairs, so...
We did indeed.
That was a great workday experience.
You're like, I just announced Tom Hiddleston. I sat here for 3 hours, but they did it.
Yeah, but even in the chairs, you know how many people I heard talking about the chairs and were upset that Tom Holland wasn't one of them. So, you know, Spider-Man
it's
is
like
everywhere.
the meme of the guy putting on the Joker makeup or whatever. I mean, the Joker putting on like that's us for watching that. You know? But it's fine. We accept it.
All right. Moving to our lightning round. This is where I'm going to read a story. And, you know, it's going to be a little bit shorter. I'm going to pack in a lot of stories, but only one of us is going to get to respond to each story by shouting out our name and claiming the story. And then once per lightning round, if you just cannot be silent on a story, you can use your rebuttal. One rebuttal per lightning round. Here we go. Colossal Biosciences has gene-edited a modern wolf species to recreate a new version of the extinct species used in fantasy lore such as Game of Thrones, the dire wolves. They are returning to the world after being extinct for more than 12,000 years. The first two new dire wolves, Romulus and Remus, were born in October. Colossal has a mission of de-extinction and claims this is proof it can be done.
I mean, we're all going to say something about it, I would imagine.
Why is this
Should have been feature number 4.
First of all, yeah, we really got extinct direwolves before Winds of Winter. It has to be said. 10,000 years or whatever, who cares? Yeah, I mean, this is to me is just the prelude for the woolly mammoth. Like, don't call me until you've made a woolly mammoth, you know? That's what I really want to see. But yeah, this has been an interesting cultural conversation this last week. From I think Haley, you sent it to me from Jurassic Park on Twitter, tweeting out like this couldn't go wrong, which is hilarious. And then the debate over what does this like morally mean? You know, when you're talking about extinction, and then especially extinctions that we cause, and then de-extinction, and is that right? And you know, the cultural conversation has been interesting here from my perspective.
Shout out to the third wolf pup that was born later, and her name's Khaleesi.
Oh, Khaleesi. I love it. I've heard interviews with geneticists talking about this possibility for years, and I feel like there was a different species they did this to already. Maybe I just heard they were working on this. But they've talked about doing the woolly mammoth and stuff, but I think this is such a perfect idea, and the connecting to our multiverse news of it all, connecting it to a species that is two things. It is from a fantasy novel that is beloved, like Game of Thrones. So that's already like a lot of people are like, dire wolves, I've been reading about them. They're real now. But also, those puppies are so cute. And I don't know, so cute. Like, I'm really curious about how they're going to grow up, and will they be able to, I guess they'll be able to domesticate them? I have no idea. Can you domesticate a dire wolf? I have no idea. It's going to be interesting. How tall do they get? I know in fantasy novels they're like 10 feet tall.
Yeah, I think I saw like 9 feet or something.
Damn.
No, like they're
really
tall. Yeah, I saw a diagram. I don't know how real it was. It's the internet, y'all. I mean, it could be anything. My question is like, where are they going to release them? Or are they going to?
Florida.
Florida?
Florida. Yeah, Florida makes total sense. Just turn them loose in Miami.
Dire wolves versus gators. Like, that's the... Oh, man.
Dire wolves at High Lie. It'll be great.
I don't think you could release these anywhere in the wild because they would just dominate probably all the other species.
Yeah, and there's already really like a wolf like population issue, right? So I don't know, whatever.
Any sports teams that need to rebrand, now is your chance. You can be the dire wolves. Be the dire wolves, and you've like that's it right there. Like that is your mascot
immediately.
Yeah, like tell me, Reed, as a Commanders fan, like if they came out tomorrow and said we are the Washington Direwolves, you'd be like, hell yeah, right?
I'm all in, yeah, because we couldn't afford Red Wolves. Yeah, give us Direwolves. I just say shout out to the dodo bird. It's getting forgotten in all of this stuff. Everybody wants a woolly mammoth or a direwolf now. Give me the dodo bird so we can get those those Parmesan garlic dodo wings in like 20 years.
Yeah, justice for the dodo bird, justice for the Tasmanian tiger. Okay.
Is it really justice when you want to just eat them? I don't know that.
That's how you know they're back, though.
Yeah,
like
when you can spare them, you know.
Yeah, when it's like the new McRib or something, it's a special at Buffalo Wild Wings. That means they're back.
Yeah, when the dire wolf ribs are on the menu, then you really know. You know they've made it.
We're all back to living in caves.
Yeah, scientists just high-fiving. It was like, yeah, we got them back, $5.99.
I want to say they kept it a secret really good. Like, good for you guys.
It's always so interesting when you hear these cloning stories because it's always like, so yeah, we did this. They never like, hey, we're planning to do. I mean, they do sometimes, but it's like
because people will be like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, you're playing God.
Haven't you seen Jurassic Park?
Exactly.
Well, I know all of you would go there too, so you know, here you
totally
go. You got your dire wolves.
I've not changed my mind on that at all.
I would 100% go, and I will be a first act death.
Okay, up next. That definitely. We just all had to talk
take
about
it from
that
here.
No, it's fine.
Take it from here.
The lightning round. After the debut of a sizzle reel for upcoming shows this year on Max that featured some very brief shots of Peacemaker Season 2, James Gunn confirmed that the series will begin streaming on August 21st.
Jay, how close are we to Superman is July 11th, is that right? So, you know, I mean, Peacemaker is basically going to hit right after Superman starts to make its way out of theaters, so that makes sense. Yeah, we knew it was coming this year. It's nice to have a solidified review date. I would imagine there's probably a trailer around the corner, probably within the next week or two.
Yeah, it'll be good. Tangled, Disney's live-action reimagining of its 2010 animated film, has been put on pause, according to The Hollywood Reporter. The project has been in active development with The Greatest Showman helmer Michael Gracie on board to direct, and a script by Jennifer Caton Robinson.
Haley, good. Stop making them. Stop making them. The end.
You know who's responsible for the death of Tangled?
Snow White.
Yeah, it's Snow White for 100%.
I mean, even Bob Iger was like, you know what, guys, let's not with this. Also, the fan castings were terrible. Like, I'm just keep it on the shelf for eternity.
I guess I'll throw my rebuttal in there because I was just going to jump in on Snow White. That movie was bad enough that I couldn't help. I was going to hack into this show if I could. If you all were talking about it, I was like, that movie was awful. My girlfriend Angela is a Disney addict. We went to see Snow White. She had low expectations, and it still went under those expectations. Loves Tangled. I love Tangled. I think low-key could be a good live-action adaptation.
Except it won't be, Reed.
It won't be, but it could be. But yeah, they need to take a pause. And while they're going to do that, just maybe take a pause on the Moana live-action because they were still all in on that for next year, which really drives me insane.
You got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson full steam ahead on that thing.
Yeah,
we only got a little bit of time. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of people who movie stars that could take that action movie, a mantle, like The Rock. Come on.
Not when you have in your contract you can't lose a fight.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a bad taste in my mouth.
He's getting into the A24 game too now. Like he's trying to. Yeah, he's
really.
He's going to be in the
Mark Kerr.
Yeah, the Smashing Machine. Yeah, it's looks totally different. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Haley? What is your most cursed casting for live action Tangled?
I'm sorry, but it was Florence Pugh. It's not Flo. It's just that's not the role for her. Rapunzel's supposed to be 16 years old.
The one that I saw that I hated the most was Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh God.
Which people were really stumping for. I was like,
Let's just no more live action remakes.
I was playing a phone game this week, and it's like a DC phone game, and I'm playing in a freaking little my little team, and we all have a little chat, and somebody said something about just dancing to some white girl music, and I was like, oh, what's your best white girl jam? And then me and 30 ultra DC geek playing at a high level of this freaking phone game started talking about Sabrina Carpenter. Like, it was like, oh, and this song, oh, it's so good. And
Love Sabrina, but I mean,
I do too.
Oh, no.
shrink her even more, make her Tinkerbell.
She's got some jams. I mean, I'll walk through the mall and I'll be like, oh, this is a good song. Oh, wait, it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Please, Please, Please is like in heavy rotation on my Spotify. I will
always.
admit.
Yeah.
It's so good. Okay, HBO has officially renewed The Last of Us for a third season ahead of its second season premiere this weekend. A decision has not yet been made on whether the third season will be the series' last.
Jay, the word is on the street that Last of Us Season 2, which premieres on Sunday and only has 7 episodes, will basically cut The Last of Us 2, the game, in half. So totally makes sense. I mean, Season 3 had to happen. It's one of their most popular shows, and you are not done with the source material. So, it's not going to be a very long season. It's only 7 episodes. So we got about 7 weeks in this thing, and then people are going to be clamoring for Season 3. I think it really depends. Like, I think you can probably do the rest. If the season's going to cut where I think it's going to cut, I think you could probably do the rest in a 10-episode season in Season 3. But... yeah, I mean, you might need that Season 4 depending on how deep you want to go. And if they come up with more source material, they might not. They've been kind of cagey about, are we going to make another game? I mean, with the way The Last of Us 2 ended, I think you could end it, and I'd be totally fine with that if they never made another one. But I don't know. I think we'll probably see a continuation of the story in some effect. So, yeah, totally makes sense. And I'm excited to get after this on Sunday when that show finally hits HBO.
Me too. We'll be covering over on Always Watching, so go subscribe over there if you want to hear us talk about that. And the good thing about it, if they don't make it to that third game in time, HBO has a really good track record of continuing IP past the source material.
Yeah. Now they have said they will not do that, which, I mean, you can take it or leave as a statement, but they have said, like, we will not go past the source material. So maybe they've learned their lesson.
I hope they learn that lesson. All right. Sources tell Deadline that A Quiet Place Day One director Michael Sarnowski will write and direct the highly anticipated live-action adaptation of Hideo Kojima's genre-defying video game Death Stranding, with A24 and Kojima Productions producing.
Someone fill in for Scotty. Come on,
this is a
Scotty
all
joint. Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's talked about this game and A24 all the time, but I've never played Death Stranding. Anybody?
I haven't either.
No. I know that it was very popular. I also know that there is a big cast of people that you would recognize that gave their likeness to the game and did motion capture for it.
Oh,
so
cool.
Some of those names are Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, Margaret Qualley from The Substance, Mads Mikkelsen. There's like legit stars in this game that did motion capture for it. So it had the treatment of being a cinematic sort of experience, and I'm surprised they haven't adapted it to live action sooner, to be honest. But I would imagine we will see some of those people probably in the live action adaptation. I don't know how you make it without Norman Reedus if he is basically the main character and it looks exactly like Norman Reedus. Like, it literally is him, like, in the game. Like, it's not even they don't even change his face. It's literally him.
That'll be really interesting if they make. The game was a number of years ago, but it'll be really interesting if they make the same movie with the actor from the game. I think that's very strange and interesting. Okay, Variety has learned that exclusively from sources that Summer H. Howell is nearing a deal to star in Mike Flanagan's upcoming Carrie TV series at Amazon in the title role.
Read. I can't say I know too much about Summer H. Howell, but I love Carrie. I love that material. I love that book. I love the original film. The Abigail Breslin one, I think it was Abigail Breslin. A little iffy on there, but you give me Mike Flanagan, you give me that name, give me Mike Flanagan in any type of horror, I'm in. I love what he does. I love the emotion that he can pack into a horror story. I just love his writing. I love his producing. He's teetering towards like Guy Ritchie territory though, where like his name is popping up on like everything. Like, I don't know what this dude has time for outside of filmmaking, but he's making some really great stuff. I'm looking forward to Life of Chuck this year, and him doing Carrie, I'm very much down for this. Curious in a series though. Kind of wondering how you're going to stretch this out.
Slow Horses star Jack Lowden is currently in talks to play Mr. Darcy in Netflix's upcoming Pride and Prejudice series. First unveiled last year, the series is being penned by Everything I Know About Love author Dolly Alderton.
Haley, I still just think this series is a bad idea. I don't know. Like, it's the 20th anniversary of the 2005 Pride and Prejudice 2, and like, come on. Do we need more than that in the BBC miniseries that is also beloved? I think not.
All right, Deadline reported exclusively that Robert Pattinson is a star Denis Villeneuve has an eye on for a role in Dune 3, which is scheduled to start shooting this summer.
Haley, I think I've seen who they think he will play, but I don't think it's confirmed, so we don't need to talk about it here. But my favorite take on this was, so we're not getting Batman 2?
He can do both. He can do both.
Yeah,
I think he fits in the Dune world very, very well, though.
Yeah, totally. I want to see him as a villain, and that's the rumor, right? That he's like some sort of villain character. Like, I want to see him in that role. Like, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Robert Pattinson as the villain, unless you were Team Jacob. You know, like it's there's not really he's not really an antagonist too often.
You get a glimpse of it in Mickey 17, and he can do it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he has that gear. Yeah,
he's a chameleon. Like, he really does disappear into a
He's
role,
a great
so
actor.
I'm sure he could pull it off. Late last year, 20th Century Studios boss Steve Asbell revealed that there were 2 Predator movies in development. The first was already known, Predator Badlands, a live-action take directed by Prey's Dan Trachtenberg, starring Elle Fanning. The second was a secret project, one that now has finally been revealed as an animated film titled Predator: Killer of Killers. 20th Century shared the trailer Tuesday, as well as a release date of June 6th on Hulu and Disney+.
Read. First off, badass title. Killer of Killers. Predator Killer of Killers. Oh, it's awesome. And I think, like, the Predator Badlands I'm already interested in. It's not like my favorite series, but Prey was really, really creative and cool. Predator Badlands kind of being a protagonist view of the Predator is going to be interesting, and now you have Killer of Killers, which is kind of hitting all the ideas everybody had after Prey of, like, where in history can we throw a Predator? Is it going to be against samurai? Is it going to be in World War II? Is it going to be against Vikings? Fuck it, let's do it all. We're throwing them all in here in animated form, and it's a good way to do it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Animatrix, and I think it'll do pretty well. I'm excited to see this, and I'm very glad that it's just going to be going straight to Hulu and Disney Plus, and I can just hit it right there on June 6th.
Absolutely. X-Men actor Alan Cumming, in an interview with NBC's Today with Jenna and Friends, explained that in early makeup tests for Avengers Doomsday, the time frame and process of his Nightcrawler makeup routine has dropped from 4 to 5 hours to 90 minutes.
Haley. So twofold on this. He's probably thrilled, right, to not have to sit in a makeup chair for 4 hours. However, they would hand do those tattoos on Nightcrawler in those X-Men movies in the early 2000s. And so the makeup better be just as good is what I'm saying for 90 minutes. Like, if it's not, you're going to hear about it. And you're definitely going to hear about it from Ashley Coffin, I can assure you. But he was really cute in this little soundbite. He's like, yeah, we've already started pre-production. Like, everyone's in London and everyone seems lovely. But he said something like, it's going to be nuts or it's going to be crazy about Doomsday. So tell me more, Alan.
Absolutely.
Those tattoos have got to be peel and stick, I would imagine.
They better look good.
This is probably the only way they got him to come back. Like, if I'm him and they're like, you want to be
100%.
Nightcrawler again? And I'm like, if you make me sit in a chair for 5 hours, absolutely not. 90 minutes or no Nightcrawler.
Especially if it's like a really short time on screen.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just a technological advancement of the, methods that they've learned to do these types of makeup better. And I don't want to see them do his makeup with CGI, but some of the stuff they do with CGI, like, I'm always really impressed when I hear about, like, what they did with Vision, where, like, in WandaVision, his human ears were out the whole time, but I can't tell at all. You know what I mean? Like, Paul Bettany's vision ears were just human ears because that was really uncomfortable. So they let him just keep his ears out, and they just like mapped over it with CGI, and I cannot tell, not even a little. So anyway, that's the show.
Ears.
Ears.
That's the show. Ears.
We'll leave you with ears.
All right. Well, let's tell people where they can find you guys online. Our guest, Reed Murphy. It's been so wonderful having you. Tell the people about your network and where they can find you.
You guys can find me on the 323 Network on YouTube. Go there. We just published our Awesome Con panel in its entirety on there, so you can see how we did doing Geeky Family Feud. And a big thank you to the panda community, too. A lot of pandas gave some really great answers on the survey and helped us out tremendously going into this. So see how other people, feel about, like, what Disney character would you want to smoke weed with? Or, which supervillain would Elon Musk be? You can find that all there on the 323 Network YouTube page. We got plenty going on there. Follow me at 323REID on all social media, too. Thank you guys for having me. It's always great to be here. I really do enjoy getting to come on here and, bring chaotic energy from the side and just relaxing.
Yeah. Well, it's really great having you, man. And what about you, Haley? What you got going on?
Over on Source Pages, Brian and I have been reading more Secret Wars comics, so we are getting ready for that in a couple of years, and it's going to take us a couple of years to read all of them, probably.
Wow.
Very, very soon, Ash and Scotty and I will be covering Andor on Always Watching, so get ready for that. And then not very far after that, Matt and Scotty and I will be doing Mission Impossible on Binger, so it's going to be a busy spring.
Yeah, very busy. All of those things that I'm in, and me and Jay are going to be starting Always Watching this week with Last of Us. It's me and Jay and
Scotty
Scotty
will be on that too. Yeah, so we'll start The Last of Us. I think the plan is to record right after the episode and get that thing out to you Monday. So if you're watching The Last of Us, or if you're thinking maybe you want to go back and check out Season 1, we covered Season 1 too. So go to Always Watching and listen through those episodes and watch Last of Us Season 1 and get ready for Season 2.
And check out Commute the Podcast.
Yep. And we did not have a new episode this week, but we'll be back next week. So, and I will for sure talk about Dire Wolves. I'm going to do a whole segment on Dire. I just got to talk about it, and I'm going to do it. I got to get it out of my system.
I love it. Over on MCU Cast, we're still covering Daredevil, and I'm doing the song a week writing for Daredevil. So that's going to be fun. Going to have a new song up in a couple of days for this week's episode, which is a great episode of Daredevil. So check out the MCU Cast, but also check out the songwriting project. And if you want to support it, go to strandedpanda.com/helpmatt, and you can click on the little link to go to the Indiegogo and support the project there. So I can write these songs and make a great album for you guys. And that's what we got going on. Have a great night, everybody. Anybody else? Who's taking the most Stay Classy?
Oh gosh, I didn't even think about it.
Reed should do it. He's a guest.
Oh my gosh, there's so much pressure. You stay classy, Multiverse.
Hey, thanks for listening to Multiverse News, or watching it, or whatever you're doing. Eyeballs or ear holes, whichever thing. We do this show every week, and we appreciate you listening. Strandedpanda.com is where you can find all of our podcasts. And thank you for listening. Check us out wherever you get podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the little bell icon, whatever you have on whatever service you're doing. Rate us, like us. We're really thirsty. That's what I'm saying.